It's a seasonally cold December evening. We're in the upper 20s right now. Just some high, thin clouds moving in. So we'll wake up to mostly sunny skies. Temperatures in the low 20s to start our Tuesday, which will feature a gradual increase in the cloud cover. A little warmer than today with a high of 40 to 45. And then our first wintry mix of the season arrives first thing on Wednesday. And I'll have an update on its impacts next on Eyewitness News at 10.
Tonight at 10, the rollout is underway and people across the country have already had their first shots. At home, Deacon is preparing to roll up the sleeves Wednesday. Healthcare workers are first in line. An ugly situation at an Evansville bar involving face masks is now prompting charges. Evansville police are looking for the man throwing the beer in the face of an employee.
Live from the ABC 25 studio. This is Eyewitness News at 10.
Thanks for joining us tonight. Hello, I'm Brad Bird. Shelley has the evening off. The first COVID-19 vaccinations now underway across the U.S., with those on the front lines at hospitals already getting their shots. This marks a major turning point in the pandemic, with cases, hospitalizations, and deaths still rising in many states. ABC's Rena Roy reports.
3, 2, 1, vaccinate!
From New York to California and so many hard-hit areas in between, frontline heroes rolling up their sleeves.
I am the first person to take the vaccine, so woohoo!
Lining up for the first dose of the Pfizer vaccine on Monday, many expressing feelings of hope in a major turning point 9 months into this relentless pandemic. The first boxes shipped out less than 24 hours earlier by plane and truck to every corner of the U.S.
It felt great. It didn't feel any different than receiving any other vaccination.
This New York doctor lost his uncle to the virus and has another family member hospitalized.
I saw a lot of devastation. I saw it personally in my family. This is a major turn, the most significant turn during this pandemic.
Critical nurse Sandra Lindsay in Queens was one of the first in the nation to get the shot and has this message for the world.
Don't hesitate. I have seen the other side. It's dark. Please take the vaccine. Please listen to the signs.
A desperate plea as the U.S. passes another grim milestone. More than 300,000 Americans now dead from COVID-19. More than 110,000 are hospitalized nationwide.
Right now, we're so overwhelmed. We're working every way we can. Managers, supervisors, nurses, it's just we're all on autopilot at this point.
Experts urging people to continue social distancing, wearing masks, and washing hands.
Federal officials say they expect 50 million Americans to be vaccinated by the end of January and access to the vaccine for the general population by March. Rena Roy, ABC News, Queens, New York.
Back home, Deaconess Hospital expects to receive its first shipment of vaccines tomorrow. The shipment will include 1,900 doses that will result in 900 vaccinations. Deaconess plans to administer its first shot on Wednesday morning. Frontline healthcare workers are among the first to get vaccinated, but Deaconess is not requiring all of its workers to get the shot. Baptist Health in Madisonville also expects to receive its vaccine supply tomorrow. 975 doses will be given to Madisonville, with highest priority given to healthcare workers at the highest risk. More than 1,200 people work at Baptist Health Madisonville. It's one of 5 Baptist Health locations in Kentucky and Indiana to receive parts of the first shipment. Now, let's take a look at today's COVID cases. Starting in Kentucky, Hopkins County added 55 new cases today. Davis County reported 30. Hopkins and Muhlenberg both also reported 1 new death today. For the second day in a row, no new deaths were in our southern Indiana counties. Vandenberg County still reported, though, more than 200 new cases in one day. Warwick added 55, while Gibson had 37. And in Illinois, Wabash confirmed 36 new cases today. White County added 29. In other news we are watching tonight, should the University of Evansville's president resign or be fired? More than 3,000 people have signed a petition saying UE President Christopher Petruskevich should step down after announcing the proposal to sever several departments. The plan reduced 4 colleges into 3 by eliminating 3 departments, along with 17 majors. Some UE graduates say they are frightened by this decision.
I'm really disappointed in seeing this, and also fearful in seeing this for the future of the university, because that's what makes a UE education distinctive and attractive, is the emphasis on the liberal arts, the humanities.
UE's campus was quiet today as students are on the winter break. That could change tomorrow, though. There's a protest scheduled to start at 11 o'clock. An Illinois House committee ends its consideration of a breach of trust claim against House Speaker Michael Madigan. The committee voted 3-3 to authorize a charge against Madigan, but Democratic control rendered the partisan tie a rejection. Madigan is accused of taking part in a bribery scheme with utility company ComEd. Democrats say the investigation should be left to the federal government. Evansville police are looking into an incident over the weekend at the High Score Saloon. Video shows a customer pouring beer on an employee. The owner of the business says a group of people refused to wear masks and were asked to leave. We're told they then threw a drink on the employee when leaving. The owners say they have filed a police report. Police say they are trying to identify that person in the video and say he will face misdemeanor charges. Tonight's colder temps leave those people who are homeless to find somewhere warm to go. Eyewitness News' Katie Forcade is live in Evansville tonight with a look at how some of them stay warm. Katie?
Brad, the colder temps are here tonight, and that poses a threat to those without a roof over their heads. Now, most of us have the option to get out from the cold, but I found out what some people have to do to try and stay warm.
I have a lot of friends, but I don't want to put a burden on their family.
Marcellus Barnett is no stranger to what some of us consider an easy question: where to spend the night. Unfortunately, he's not alone.
There are so many people that live on the street that we don't even know that exists. They're real people with real lives, and they just need to be loved on.
And that task to find a place to stay becomes harder when outdoor temperatures fall below freezing. A winter warming shelter with social distancing is open during the day at the Evansville Rescue Mission. But that tent closes at 5 p.m. They then need to find a place to go for the evening. If they don't, they're then stuck in the cold.
I've been sleeping on the streets, like on the sidewalks and bus stops and waking up in parks and stuff.
Burnett was one of many fortunate enough to spend the night at CK Newsom Center. Beds were provided for the night. Those with Catalyst Church also helped make a generous donation with some help from the community.
The community of Evansville, our church, and many people donated money and sleeping bags and supplies so that we can pass out to the homeless and those who need to be warm.
Helping make someone's night better. And those with the church say that others are still in need and that there are ways to get involved and give back to your community. For now, reporting live in Evansville, Katie Forcade, Eyewitness News.
And Wayne, indeed, it is pretty cold out there tonight. How long is this going to last?
Well, it's going to be pretty much the case much of the week. We're in the mid-20s right now. Our average low is in the mid-20s for this time of the year. So pretty typical December weather for the week. And our first taste of wintry precipitation due in early on Wednesday. I'll have an update on any impacts that may bring with it. But today we started at 31, made it up to 40 this afternoon, and now we're down to 26. We deal with another system, too, over the weekend. I'll have all the details and an updated 7-day forecast next when Eyewitness News at 10 continues.
Get the highest rated local weather app from the App Store today. Now, from your weather authority, Chief Meteorologist Wayne Hart.
Well, our first round of light snow, sleet, freezing rain, and rain set to unfold during the pre-dawn hours on Wednesday. But right now, at least, does not look like it's going to be having any significant impacts on most of the tri-state. Could be some minor ones, and I'll fill you in here on the details in just a second. But today we started with the clouds, and we saw them gradually clear from northwest to southeast across the tri-state this afternoon with highs upper 30s to around 40. We'll be a little warmer than that tomorrow in the 40 to 45 degree range. And live first warning Doppler radar is dry, and that'll be the case until I'd say shortly after this time tomorrow night, around midnight, maybe 1, 2 a.m. is when this wintry mix will begin to develop across the area. But when's the last time we had measurable snow, at least officially, in Evansville? It's been a while. You have to go back to November of 2019, 1.1 inches. Of course, no measurable snow last winter. And then prior to that, the spring of 2019, we had 0.2 inches. And then February 15th of 2019, 0.2 inches. January of 2019 was the last active month we had snowfall-wise. We had 3 events. On the 29th and 30th, we picked up about a ½ inch, 2 inches on the 19th, and 3.5 inches on the 11th and 12th. I think most of the tri-state, if not all, will be under an inch with this next event. But it might be just enough to measure on the grass. We'll see if it's our first official snowfall or not. But right now, live view from downtown Evansville, our Zemer Funeral Home Tower camera looking down on the riverfront with the temperature already down to 26. Fortunately, the winds are calm, so no added wind chill out there with temperatures now in the mid to upper 20s. We're going to slip into the low 20s overnight. We were already 20 for a low back on the 2nd of December, and this is still going to be within 5 degrees of the average for this time of the year, which is in the mid to upper 20s for our low temperatures. The low clouds cleared out. High thin clouds are moving in, and the small winter storm has exited off the east coast. They're going to get their first nor'easter of the season, courtesy of the low that moves through our area on Wednesday. That's going to intensify as it moves towards Pennsylvania, southern New England. They could get over a foot of snow in some locations, but not here. We're going to get the weaker part of that system beginning late tomorrow night. So here's an updated future tracker as we take you through the next few days. We keep it mainly clear overnight. Tomorrow, sunshine giving way to increasing clouds. Highs about 40 to 45, so a pretty decent December day across the area. No problems tomorrow evening. The clouds thicken up. This is midnight. We're still quiet, but between midnight and 3 a.m., we see the wintry mix begin to break out, and I think we could all see it start, at least as a little bit of sleet and snow. But in western Kentucky, it should quickly go over to a cold rain by daybreak on Wednesday. And look at that rain-snow line, always cutting through the heart of the tri-state and often right through the Evansville area. And that's the case again with this system, with mainly wet snow up here to the northwest. And at daybreak, the freezing line is going to be pretty much the Ohio River. So you get into the colder air up here, southern Illinois, north of 64 in Indiana, maybe a few slick spots developing on the bridges and overpasses, but you know, the pavement is still pretty warm, ground is still pretty warm, so if any of this snow sticks, best chances would be on the grassy areas north and west of Evansville. Then it all kind of winds down from west to east as we head through our Wednesday. Temperatures rebound to around 40, and the rest of the week will be quiet. We'll see a little clearing working in from the west on Thursday, but our snowfall model continuing to indicate any accumulation mainly north of 64. Now, you're seeing a few numbers. Matter of fact, Evansville, Henderson around an inch, but much of that's going to melt with the temperature at or above freezing. But north of 64, this is where you could get maybe a ½ inch, mainly on the grass during the early morning hours on Wednesday. We'll certainly keep an eye on that for you. So overnight, mainly clear, low 20s. Tomorrow, increasing clouds, highs of 40 to 45. 7-day forecast. We still have the weather aware tag up for Wednesday. That wintry mix developing during the pre-dawn hours, ending as we head through the day. 39 the high. Some clearing on Thursday. Again, a high of 39. Friday, sunshine. Confidence is high. That's going to be a nice day. 46. A weaker, warmer system coming through Saturday with just a few scattered light showers, but cloudy, but not too cold. 50 for the high. We dry out with a little bit of clearing on Sunday, and highs still in the upper 40s. So a little messy, perhaps early Wednesday, Brad, but right now it does not look like this is going to be causing any significant impacts for most of the tri-state.
Wayne. Well, Eyewitness News is highlighting the remarkable women in our lives here in the tri-state. To share the story of the remarkable woman in your life, go to tristatehomepage.com and search for Remarkable Women. The deadline for entries is midnight this coming Sunday. In March, we'll highlight 4 tri-state women who will be considered by our parent company, Nexstar Media, for the National 2021 Woman of the Year Award. Coming up, the Electoral College makes it official. Joe Biden will become the next president of the United States. The latest when we return.
We detailed the journey of the first COVID-19 vaccine doses making their way to Kentucky and eventually around to places in the tri-state. Coming up on Tuesday, we'll talk about the first person to receive the vaccine in the United States. That's coming up on Daybreak Tuesday morning.
Best offensive performance for the Colts under Frank Reich.
You're watching Eyewitness News at 10 on ABC 25 with Brad Bird, Shelley Kirk, meteorologist Wayne Hart, and sports with Randall Parmalee.
All 50 states and the District of Columbia submit their certified votes to the Electoral College today, affirming President-elect Joe Biden as the winner of the 2020 election. This as President Trump and his allies continue their legal efforts to overturn the results. ABC's Alex Brochet reports from your local election headquarters.
Now it is official. The Electoral College voting affirming Joe Biden as the president-elect of the United States.
And the will of the people prevailed.
That will upheld at state capitals across the country, from Georgia.
Joseph R. Biden has received 16 votes for President of the United States.
To Florida.
Congratulations, electors. You have done it.
To California, which put Biden beyond the 270 electoral votes needed to secure the presidency. Biden getting a total of 306 electoral votes, the same number President Trump won in 2016.
At the time, President Trump called the Electoral College tally a landslide. By his own standards, these numbers represented a clear victory then, and I respectfully suggest they do so now.
Yet President Trump still refuses to accept that he lost the election. Fears of a violent response from his supporters forcing Arizona to cast its votes in an undisclosed location, and Michigan to close its state capitol and legislative buildings so electors could safely vote.
The people have spoken. It was a safe, fair, and secure election.
Still, most Republicans in Congress haven't acknowledged that Joe Biden won the election and did so by more than 7 million votes. One Republican congressman calling that denial disgusting and demoralizing and announcing he's leaving the party. Some other Republicans now starting to accept reality.
At some point you have to face the music, and I think that once the Electoral College settles the issue today, that it's time for everybody to move on.
Marcy Gonzalez, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Attorney General William Barr is stepping down. President Trump submitted Barr's letter of resignation today, saying Barr will be stepping down before Christmas. The president has expressed his anger after Barr said earlier this month the Justice Department found no widespread election fraud. President Trump says Deputy Attorney General Jeff Rosen will become acting Attorney General. Randall Parmley is here now. Henderson County basketball will have to wait a while longer.
Yeah, that's right. The school board isn't allowing practices to begin until January. I'll have those details coming up next. Plus, the Colts win again, and let's be honest, they look like a dangerous team right now. The Horseshoe blew out the Raiders yesterday. We're going to hear from head coach Frank Reich, his best performance offensively under his regime. Coming up next, sports.
And now, your sports authority with Randall Parmley.
Hey, everybody, it may not have been the absolute best offensive performance for the Colts under Frank Reich, but if it wasn't, yesterday's win at Las Vegas was pretty darn close. Indianapolis throttled the Raiders, winning in Vegas 44-27. It was a total demolition of the Colts defense, the Raiders defense, I should say. The Colts racked up 465 yards of total offense. Phillip Rivers did it through the air. Jonathan Taylor did it on the ground. All told, the biggest offensive output since 2014. The Colts are now 9-4 and closing in on a spot in the playoffs.
Obviously a big win, a huge win, and a great team win in all three phases, complete, dominant. Really proud of the guys. Jonathan's huge day, T.Y. another big day. Phillip was unreal. The offensive line played great. So many good things in all three phases. We talked about all week just dialing in, getting ready for this game and walking off that field, the most physical team on the field, and I believe we accomplished that against a good team, a very good team.
The Colts will now host the Texans Sunday afternoon, and due to the rise in COVID cases in Indianapolis and Indiana, the Colts are lowering fan capacity at Lucas Oil Stadium. Only 10,000 fans will be allowed to attend the game. Well, after being forced to cancel Saturday's game against St. Louis due to COVID protocols, the Aces have been cleared to play tomorrow night against Southeast Missouri. One of the players was showing COVID symptoms on Saturday, forcing the cancellation, but the team has since tested negative. Evansville, of course, snapped their program worst 22-game losing streak last week. Tip-off tomorrow against SEMO will be at 6 at the Ford Center. Well, a former rights guard has been honored by the SEC. Drew Smith has been named the SEC Player of the Week. Smith, of course, now plays for Missouri. He averaged 16 points, 2.5 rebounds, and 2 assists in a pair of Missouri wins last week. Smith and the Tigers are 5-0 for the first time since 2013. Well, the KHSAA has given the all clear for boys and girls basketball to resume practicing. However, Henderson County will have to wait just a little while longer. The school board voted tonight to hold off on practices on all winter sports until January the 4th, and then allow competition to begin on January the 11th. Here's a look at tonight's high school scoreboard. Eyewitness News at 10. We'll be right back.
Why, no doubt about it tonight. Winter's here.
Yeah, it's a cold December night. Temperatures already in the 20s area-wide. In Evansville, we're sitting at 26. Henderson's at 28. Owensboro's 24. Already, though, 22 up in Jasper, and most of the area will wind up in the low 20s by daybreak tomorrow morning. Now, tomorrow should be a nice December day. Sunshine giving way to increasing clouds, a little warmer than today, 40 to 45. And then that mix of snow, sleet, freezing rain, and rain comes in during the pre-dawn hours on Wednesday. It sounds like a big mess, but you know, road temperatures, ground temperatures are warm, are low here in the metro is going to be right around 32. So anything frozen is going to, a lot of it's going to melt. Now you get north and west of Evansville, say north of 64 in Indiana and into our Illinois counties, there could be maybe a half-inch accumulation perhaps on the grassy areas and maybe a slick spot or two on the bridges and overpasses. We'll keep an eye on that for you. It's all going to end later Wednesday, then quiet weather for the end of the week, and then a weaker, warmer system coming through on Saturday.
All right. Thank you, Wayne, and thank you for watching Daybreak at 5. Enjoy the rest of your evening and have a good night.
Get the highest rated weather app and news on the go with our Your Weather Authority and Tri-State on the Go apps. And now, your Sports Authority with Randall Parmley.
Morning, everybody. It may not have been the absolute best offensive performance for the Colts under Frank Reich, but if it wasn't, Sunday's win at Las Vegas was pretty darn close. Indianapolis just throttled the Raiders, winning in Vegas 44-27. It was a total demolition of the Raiders' defense. The Colts racked up 465 yards of total offense. Phillip Rivers did it through the air. Jonathan Taylor did it on the ground. All told, the biggest offensive output since 2014. The Colts are now 9-4 and closing in on a spot in the playoffs.
Obviously a big win, a huge win, and a great team win in all three phases, complete, dominant. Really proud of the guys. Jonathan's huge day. T.Y. another big day. Phillip was unreal. The offensive line played great. So many good things in all three phases. You know, we talked about all week just dialing in, getting ready for this game, and walking off that field, the most physical team on the field. And I believe we accomplished that against a good team, a very good team.
Colts host the Texans Sunday afternoon, and due to the rise in COVID cases in Indianapolis and Indiana, the Colts are lowering fan capacity at Lucas Oil Stadium. Only 10,000 fans will be allowed to attend the game. Here's a look at last night's high school basketball scoreboard.